World Card Game Federation here with another local match. It's going to be James here taking on Pete in a rematch. So it's kind of an interesting rematch. Guys are going to come represent slightly different eras of the game. Of course, Awakening and Vengeance representing very different metas. And we're going to have good old Broly here. Broly, like I said at the very end of our previous match here, represents what I have always called the Reign of Terror. And for those of you who are wrestling fans, probably remember to some degree the Reign of Terror that was Triple H. You guys remember this? It would have been the early to mid 2000s, where he kind of wanted every championship and every main event and everything kind of for himself. It's like this with Broly. Broly wants everything. Broly might sound selfish, but he wants everything for him. Let me put it this way, guys. I love this game to death. I really do. But flat out, I'll tell you, there were things that made me dislike the game for a time, and that would be characters like Broly. To me, he simply had every answer at every point. I think you could have ironed out everything about him by giving him a decidedly weaker level 1. Okay, they're going to go ahead and roll to see who goes first. And I'm sorry, the resolution is not enough here that we get to see who goes first. I'll let them go ahead and show us here. Okay, so James does get the first go here. He looks like he's got a excuse me. He's got a very easy first hand to go ahead and skip. I wouldn't blame him in the slightest. He plays Hiding Drill in the place, passes and rejuvenates Wall Breaker. I know he may come to regret that decision. And the move goes over to Pete. Pete's got some options. Like we said, generally speaking, Broly's a first turn combat kind of guy. Generally, there's no reason not to go into combat. Broly's insulated from pretty much anything. You can just, go. But Pete's going to be too careful for that, and I don't blame him in the slightest. He is going to go ahead and pass. Okay, Pete chooses not to rejuvenate. And he goes back over to good old James. James got some good stuff going on here. Heel kick, I want to call that card. No, it's not heel kick, it's something else. I'm sorry, I always mix up the name of that card because I think I've only ever owned one in all the time I played this game. Okay, he powered him up. Got powered Gohan. Okay, he declares combat. He entering combat Ruthless. He banishes red meal kick for it. So remember, don't forget all his attacks are 2+2 power stages and hit everything on the level. And he's going to go ahead and open up with Gohan's physical. I assume that he's just going to take it. Like we said, Broly doesn't have many worries. There's not many things that can hold him back or even compare. So to me, it's like, what do you care? Yeah. 4 life and 1 power stage, that ain't bad at all. Woo-wee. Look at that. Magnificent. So he's going to go ahead and use the Adept Mastery to go ahead and pull out good old Disaster Drill. And like I said, going forward, all the attacks are going to start pumping that anger out. And you remember, of course, Gohan's power to turn absolutely everything into a style card is going to become super handy, as no matter what he throws, he's going to get it.
Buying like 5 packs. You get anything cool? Got a Call of Visa. Which one? The Vanity.
Oh, nice. Okay, so what do we got here? Okay, he passes and rejuvenates. I want to say that looks like blue whack or something like that. Excuse me. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Silly me for not paying closer attention to the match, getting a little distracted here. Okay, so he's going to go throw a red power lift. James is going to go ahead and take the hit. One thing I'm always amazed at, how quickly this particular, Broly's stuff shoots up, in terms of how quickly he can shoot off of that level 1 with his anger. Okay, he's going to throw a red, orange traveling punch, or an orange leaping punch, and it's going to go ahead and connect and do some pretty solid damage against Broly. At this point, I'm not really sure, like we said. Oh, wow. Okay, so you're going to use Broly's level 1 power, reveals 2 attacks. So a couple of these cards, like I said, doubling the AT doesn't really help a whole heck of a lot if you don't have a whole lot of stages. So it looks like he's down to 1 power stage at this point. That's pretty rough. James has lots of options, a lot of things he can use, and he's going to do it. He's going to go ahead and lower it. Excellent. He lowers Pete's anger 3 levels with his timing with Good old shoulder slam. Okay, hits a total of 3 stages. He still gets his anger from the hit. Still an excellent move, even though he was in such a difficult predicament. Okay, he's going to use shoulder grab. He's going to raise his anger. James rightly uses his orange defense to go ahead and pull out a non-continuous drill. At this point, he really what he needs is crying drill. It gets him out of most situations. Gets him some power stages, get him some anger, and then get him out of the situation. So that's what I do. There it is. Crying drill enters. Not bad at all. Alright, so let's discuss the particular battlefield situation here. It's kind of tough. Everything that's going to connect is going to keep lowering James' anger because of course, the Ruthless effect. So it's so hard to keep gaining anger. It's just like, how long can you keep pushing this? So every card that's in Pete's hand is another attack. So it just means James will have to work very hard to get ahead of this. Gohan's Power Punch, rose his anger 2 levels, raise it 3, because remember it turned it to styled, and boom, he does get to level up. And the drills, unfortunately, do shuffle back in. Are going to discard. One is going to go ahead and auto-rejuvenate, which is not bad at all. Looks like he pushed Crying back in. Wisest choice given the situation. Okay, and he's back up to 10 power stages, and he's going to do a significant amount of damage. 9 power stage physical. Beautiful. Beautiful. So James did find a way to get out of that seemingly impossible cycle of getting, knocked to zero, and losing all your anger.
C as well, so it'd be 5, 6, 7.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, it shows you how often we're fighting Broly in today's terms. Because I had forgotten that on the level, he would have had less power stages because of Broly's effect. Which I've campaigned to my dying day, that level 1 should never have had that kind of power. Level 2 and forward makes better thematic sense. The level 1 had no reason to have that. Give him a cripplingly terrible level 1, because why would this form of Broly be so powerful? Okay, combat finally, unexpectedly against all odds, actually ends. Okay, he's going to go ahead and power up. Pete is, like I said, this is his turn. He's drawing his cards. He is going to enter in. Like we said, the Broly Ruthless loves to be in combat. There's no reason he can't go in. He's always got more, backup. So he does declare combat. He is going to go ahead and use Broly's physical attack. Let's see if he's going to do his reveal. No reveal. Nice. Okay, it'll be 4 power stages since it's styled. And James takes hardly any damage. He's able to find plenty of endurance. Not bad at all. Okay, this is going to be a toughie. James is going to have to parse all this out. He's got a wall breaker in his hand. He's got a physical attack. He's got 2 physical attacks in his hand. He could pump up plenty of anger at this point, get out a drill, and really make some magic happen. It's just holding on to the anger. I don't know if he has... Okay, he's going to use level 2 Gohan's power to go ahead and pull out any particular drill, attack or defense card, which is neat. Any style one, that is. But of course, there it is. And a refocus is the target. Wisest move and then some. I'll show you, boy, that's why orange was never my forte. I can't think how far ahead. Excuse me. Alright, so this is going to, of course, change the landscape of the game. We're going to have good old Gohan here. Oh, that would be, a slightly defense-oriented posture, which is why Pete entered this combat at all. Of course, we didn't see that. Okay, he's going to go ahead and cut his deck. Like I said, on this next attack, which is inevitable because Pete has to throw it, even though he knows full well, this is going to be like this. Okay, sword stab, he's going to go ahead and raise his anger. It is going to get stopped by refocus. He's going to go ahead and get his anger. And a drill will get to enter the field, which is, of course, going to be disaster drill. And I'm trying to figure out... Wall breaker, and it raises his anger because Gohan's powers turned into style. Ooh, fist catch, raises no anger. You've seen it here first here, folks. Broly got cheated out of it. Okay, he's wearing it. Okay, and good old Pete's gonna go ahead and pass. He goes back over. Wow, unfortunately, oh my gosh, James is gonna go ahead and level. And he is gonna have to destroy good old disaster drill. And if it hits, it would go back to his hand. Ooh, how do you like that? That was a defense-oriented posture. Time was in Pete's hand the whole time, and that's why he so confidently entered on 3 cards. Okay, and that's going to go ahead and end that. It's going to go back, swing back over to James, and he gets to get his turn. Excellent passing hand, lots of drills. Nice. Not bad at all. He gets to power up Gohan just a little bit, and he's got Orange Memories, I want to say that particular card is called. No, it's not Memories. I forget what that one is called. It's from the newer sets. Okay, and that combat is going to end. James is going to remember to rejuvenate. And it's going to go back over to Pete. Pete has interesting standing. The wall breaker on him would mean that cards like Unleashed are actually better for him in his current condition. Okay, it looks like he's carrying some neat stuff. Static Shot. I'm blown away. He put that away. Okay, he's going to go ahead and pass, and it's going to go back over to James. James has an excellent hand. I just am not entirely sure it would make all the most sense. He could anger up at this point and do some real magical stuff. Like we said, though, take a look at what's at the top of Pete's discard pile. Collision.
I feel like you've got something good in your hand. At the same time, I feel like I probably should go ahead and
No, James, you're a madman. Okay, Collision's banished. And if I remember, Pete gets some anger from doing so. Alright, goes over here. And we're going to go ahead and see. Wow, he's going to throw level 3 Gohan's 9-stage physical. And I want to say Pete does have a block in his hand, and if he doesn't, he's just going to go ahead and take this small amount of damage, you know what we do. And just rope it down. He doesn't need AT to do what he needs to do. Okay, and that does hit, and James is allowed to go and activate the Mastery, and of course a good old Disaster Drill enters the field. So theoretically, James should be able to get off excuse me, get off this level pretty readily, but I hate to say it, guys, I already know the ending. So it's going to really go funny here in a second. As a friend of mine used to say, it goes pear-shaped. Okay, I want to say Stomach Dive is going to go ahead, and he's going to throw it. We throw 6 power stages despite being at 0. And if it hits James, he's going to go ahead and lose any anger that he throws. Remember that? Hit, lower their anger 1 level. And I'm assuming James is doing it. Okay, he's going to throw. Nice. Lowers Broly's with Devastating Blow. A lot of jokes said with Devastating Blow. Get rid of time. Get rid of all the stuff that's targetable from the banishing. Off with it. What are you doing?
Yeah, to the bottom to play the top. Okay. I don't have any stages.
And this is actually doubly useful at this point, because you remember, of course, with the Mastery's ability to let him duplicate attacks. So he basically sabotages him by making sure the top cards are not attacks. Okay, time has left the game. Nice. No recursion at this point.
I'm now in. I'm in. So need a 4.
I'm not sure if James is not adjusting his anger at this point, or if he's not moving it because he lost one and gained one. I'd assume. Ooh, a blocking hand, 2 power stages, no anger. Okay, and Unleash. Remember how I said, oh, doggone it, here's where everything fell apart. Remember how I said that if there was something that was going to happen at this point, if it was going to be something that could turn the tide, all these attached cards, because me shooting from level 1 to level 4 in 1 shot. Oh, Unleashed, how I hate you. Okay, he attaches with the immediate effect of Unleashed. He searches for Red Inferno, places his hand, meaning it's going to be a pretty darn effective move. My guess, he's going to have a very effective combat now, or he's going to the next combat. Okay, so he shoots up from level 1 to level 4 in 1 shot. And then Red Club goes away because he has changed levels. So, no, you're attached. Oh, look at this. So he's going to go up, and he's going to go ahead and shoot to level 4 using Gohan's Power Punch. And it does it. You remember how it's basically a 3 anger swing with Disaster Drill in play? A really impressive hit.
So 5, 6 because you're higher.
Okay, I didn't see if James actually remembered to rejuvenate any of his drills. I guess it is optional, so. Okay, he's going to go ahead and throw that physical. And it's going to do a significant amount of damage. He's going to go throw a red tandem back. Pete's going to throw red tandem back at him. You like the 9 power stages he threw with virtually no cards? No power stages, which no AT to do it.
Endurance?
Ooh, remember that? That's no endurance, all banished. And this is where, like we said, things are likely going to turn the tide. Endurance is off. Endurance is, damage is banished, I believe. And that was a crit, and it goes back. Oh, boy. Orange extension is going to be used right back. It's going to be pretty sweet. It's going to do some significant damage to Broly, and good old checkup drill is going to enter the game, so that means he gets to solve its immediate effect. So he's going to go ahead and use it and pull out. There it is, an orange refocus. Very excellent card. To be honest, guys, I don't know how this turns around so bad, because like I said, I saw the ending already. So he's going to go ahead and have, like I said, checkup drill lets him bring in a blocking.
When I take crit? Oh, when you take crit.
Can you guys believe the size of the hits that James has been throwing on his side and how little overall effect they've actually had against Broly? He's always had all the power stages and all that stuff. I almost forgot why James got knocked to 0 so darn fast is because he got put 3 above 0 because of Broly's effects. So you gotta have all the answers all the time is what they said when they made Broly. Okay, and that combat is finally over. Everybody passed. James has a few likely targets. It looks like he's got 2 disaster drills. I would have rejuvenated at least one of them. Better in the life deck than not. Excuse me. Okay, so looks like Pete, did not have the strongest hand. I'm not sure what he kept, but it looks like he's going to go ahead and rejuvenate a card. It looks like, oh, look at that. Aerial Assault is in his discard pile. Impressive. So it looks like James has another wall breaker. James, it's not worth it. I'm looking at your hand, and there's nothing there worth having. Not like he's going to go ahead and pass rejuvenate leaping punch because he can see the endurance. But remember, like we said, he can't de-level Pete, so that card is just one card. Okay, he's going to go ahead and banish Aerial Assault, which is, I guess, somewhat of a good card to go ahead and banish. James gets to draw his cards in response. He's got a very decent hand, very helpful. Could easily get out of this situation at this point. But I just feel like he's not going to. Like this is going to go pear-shaped real quick. Okay. Looks like red left kick. Is that the name of this card? He lowers his anger 1 level. He gets to go ahead and search out a style card and put it in his hand. So basically, this would be the only time that James could rope-a-dope. He could take a hit here and not worry about it in terms of losing anger from the hit effect from Red Ruthless. Okay, he's going to grab shoulder grab, which is, as if you needed double anger lowering.
Yeah. 2, 6, 8.
Are you going to do it, James? Are you sure?
What are you?
I said I probably would have just taken the hit.
Yeah,
Okay. He is going to go ahead and stop it. Oh no wait.
Actually, I'm in E. Sorry.
Oh, he's going to go ahead and stop it. He does play orange refocus. He raises anger 1 level. He's going to go ahead and draw. Like I said, guys, if he was going to try to anger out, he would absolutely need to have weathered that hit, took the amazing brutal beating that it was, weathered whatever it was so he could keep the anger and get the momentum. He would have then had the anger in another move and would have been able to build up the anger quick enough to get away from this. Okay, he's going to go ahead and... Wow, 4 attacks from Broly's ability. Unbelievable. Okay, James, excuse me, remember that Gohan's ability? Oh! Broly's ability to banish all the drills all the time just kicked in, and that's going to go ahead and wipe out all of James' field. That is going to leave him with a few viable targets in deck and not. Okay, red shoulder grab. He's going to stop it with an orange juke. He's going to be able to target a drill in his discard pile. A secondary. The duplicate disaster drill in the discard pile did come in handy. James' foresight was impressive. Okay, he's going to go ahead and throw. There you go. He's going to raise Zanger again. He's going to go ahead and throw it with Orange Enraged Bash. He has the option to go ahead and rejuvenate a drill, and if it hits, he can activate the Mastery and go ahead and pull it back out. In this case, unfortunately, he cannot target another checkup drill. It's not in the discard pile. It's in the banish set.
18 plus 2. I'm in D. You're in F. Okay, so it'll just be 2, 4, 5.
Okay, it's a 5-stage physical, and it lets him rejuvenate one from the banish zone. And then he can go ahead and activate the Mastery. It's happening. Boom, he's doing it. Okay, checkup drill goes back to the deck, and he goes ahead and pulls it right back out for it. He's going to go ahead and resolve checkup drill's effect. And it has, like I said, it is the first time it was played this combat, so he's still within the rules. Yes, James, that is the wisest move. You found a way around it. Just keep it. No, you get checkup drill out. You will not survive the damage he's going to deal to you. Check up drill. Check up drill. I know in the real world I'm not allowed to make these sort of, you know, spiels and demands during a real game. The checkup drill's a wise one. No, James, no! Unless James had a time in his hand, then no. You're going to take a beating from the endless rolling attacks that power through Broly. That's how this works. The deck is 66% physical attacks.
You still have 3 attacks, maybe. One.
See, that's where he made his mistake. If he had gotten another block, or if he went for another orange refocus out of there, he could have raised his anger on it, pushed out another drill, and there it is. Eraser Cannon comes into play. It is stopped by Orange Juke. I don't know if James has any targets. I honestly don't remember. I think they're all gone. They've all been moved out. He has no viable targets for Juke. Everything is falling apart.
You know what? I'm going to attack you 4 stages.
Okay, he uses that particular drill from set 9 that does 4 stages of damage total. He shuffles it back into his deck or rejuvenates it. I'm sorry, I just had to remember. And he goes back over to Pete. Pete has lots of options. Or Red Club comes back into play. And like I said, it will be monstrous.
3, 7, 9. Higher than the secret. Yeah. So 3, 1, 2, endurance.
Oh, no endurance. Love it. Love it. No endurance, damage banished. Yes, I caught that they didn't banish all the endurance from before Broly's attacks. Oh, excuse me, banish all the damage. And this is, like we said, where everything will probably fall apart, just from the unfortunate reordering of those actions. Oh, sword stab. Yuck. And there's all the damage just hemorrhaging. He's got a crit. He's got a crit and a lower, and everything good just fell out of that deck. Like we said, that would have been it. Think about it, guys. Broly was out of moves at that point. If James had done it, he would have been 1 attack up, and that final attack, the one you just saw, would never have happened. Yep, and checkup drill just fell back out of his deck, and it is not coming back. So, like we said, oh wait, no, I'm wrong. Pete still has a hand. No, I'm sorry, he started a new turn. He's going to go ahead and rejuvenate Unleash, is the least useful card he would have in his discard pile, and it goes back over to James. I want to say Pete saved a physical attack. Let me take a peek at his hand here. I can't see it. Okay. Looks like we got some good cards here. James has an excellent hand on different circumstances. Unfortunately, at this point, there's not much he can do to be able to weather this storm. No blocks came up. Okay, he goes back over. He powered up 6 power stages. Gohan has decent power stages, but against Broly level 4, it doesn't matter. Okay, Pete declares combat. He banishes Static Shot. He goes back over to, or excuse me, it's Pete's opening action. Oh, James has time. Ooh, Pete's been saving the sphere. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. He used, I want to say Broly's power?
I wish I could. I misplayed and I could.
Oh, James realizes how he would have misplayed.
Do enough damage fast enough?
No, he got to level 4 and now I can't endure anything. And then he hit me for 14. If he didn't hit me for 14, I would have been okay. 50.
So life would have been amazing. You stink.
Okay, he's going to go ahead and throw a Traveling Punch in response. Decent stage damage, nothing spectacular. Ooh, stop with the catch. All of a sudden I forget the name of this particular block. It's a physical block. Okay, He's going to throw a stomach dive again. Stopped it with time, son of a gun. And James, unfortunately, is out of options at this point. Okay, he's going to go Gohan power. He makes his next attack unpreventable. I forget the level 4. Remember you can make a next attack? Dude, wow. He gets a 1 anger, unfortunately, from the hit. I'm from the effective. And he's going to stop it by banishing with, what the heck is this card called? Enhanced Reflexes. Oh. And the game ends, fellas, and James unfortunately rolls out. So like we said, we lived under the Triple H Broly reign of terror for some time.